What's happening? You're going to take notes on this today. Tomorrow you'll be working through some problems on your own. Now there's two packets are both in the same video. So I want to use our equation solver sheet. So we have x to the third, that's 1 at, put a 1 there, minus 25x equals 0. Now how many answers do we have? Well, this time there's going to be 3 because x is to the third power. Okay, so I have 3 answers I need to find. Now we have to have it set equal to 0, which it is, so it's set. How many terms do you have? You have 1 and 2, so you're going to do the same thing, the GCF and the difference of perfect squares. So GCF, and then difference of perfect squares, DOPS. Okay, so if the first thing is the first number in the equation negative. No, first number's not negative, so we don't need a negative. Do you have x on both terms? Well, you have x to the third and you got x to the first, so yeah. So we need to put x to the first in the GCF. Now GCF calculate 1 and 25. Whoops, sorry, 1 and 25. Okay, so I calculate, and it just comes up as 1, but you see it's not just 1, but there's an x to the first with it, so I actually need to go through with this and then go up here and divide. So 1 divided by 1 is 1, but x, 3 minus 1 is 2, so we have x to the second. And then negative 25 divided by 1 is negative 25, so minus 25, and then those x's go bye-bye. Okay? Now DOPS, now remember when you're looking at DOPS, you are looking at this parentheses here, those two things. So do we have x to the second? Yes, we do. We have x to the second, so I put x. X is our second number negative. Yeah, the second number is negative 25. Now turn this paper over and see if the numbers are perfect. Well, 1 is perfect. That's 1 times 1. So I put 1x, and 25. 25 is perfect because that's 5 times 5. Now we need to bring this 1x to the first power down here, okay? And I get rid of my first power. But now I have 3 factors because all this equals 0. So I have F1, F2, and F3. So 1x could equal 0, 1x plus 5 could equal 0, or 1x minus 5 could equal 0. So I dot that, circle it, divide, but go straight to division. 0 divided by 1 is 0. There's your first answer. Now we dot and circle. We subtract 5 from both sides. So 0 take away 5 is negative 5. And then I divide by 1. And negative 5 divided by 1 is negative 5. Okay. Then dot and circle. Then I plus 5 to both sides. 0 plus 5 is 5. I divide by 1, and 5 divided by 1 is 5. So those are the 3 answers. Okay, my next problem, negative 2x to the power of 3 plus 162x equals 0. So how many answers? Again, there's 3 because I have a third power on my variable. Okay, now it has to be set equal to 0, and it is, so it's set. And now how many terms? Well, again, there's 2, okay? So with 2 terms, I set up the same 2 boxes I did on the last problem. The GCF box, and then my difference of perfect squares box. Okay, so the GCF is the first number in the equation negative. Well, 2 is the first number and it's negative, so I need a negative for my GCF. Now, is x on both terms? Well, we got x to the third here and x to the first here. So x to the first is the one I go with. And then 2 and 162. I hit calculate and I got 2. So it's going to be negative 2 and x to the first. So that means I got to factor out x. Okay, now negative 2 divided by negative 2 is positive 1. And on the x's, I take 3 minus 1, which is 2. Then I take 162 divided by negative 2, and that's negative 81. So I put 81 and then a subtraction sign. And those go away. Okay, now remember, when you're looking for your dots, you're looking at this, okay? So do we have x to the second? Yes, we do. So x. Is the second number negative? Yes, it is. Okay? Now turn this over and see if the numbers are perfect. So 1 and 81 are the two I'm looking at. So 1 is 1 and 1, so that'd be 1x. Then the 89 is 9 by 9. Okay, now remember, bring that negative 2x to the first down here. Okay, get rid of your first power, but all these have x's, okay? So f1, because there's an x there, f2, f3, and these multiply to 0, okay? So I said each one of these equal to 0, so negative 2x could equal 0, 1x plus 9 could equal 0, or 1x minus 9 could equal 0. So I go divide by negative 2, and 0, when you divide 0 by anything, it's 0. Then I take away 9. 0 take away 9 takes us to negative 9. And then divide by 1, and negative 9 divided by 1 is negative 9. Then plus 9, 0 plus 9 is 9, so 1 times x equals 9, divide by 1, and that keeps us at 9, okay? So those are the three solutions to the equation. Now my next page, okay, there are 3 answers because of the third power. So we have to have it set equal to 0 because there's other x's in here that are not to the third power, okay? And how many terms do I have this time? Excuse me. Looks like to me I have 3 now, so GCF and then the table. So GCF equals, and then instead of the dots, we're going to look at the table. So GCF, is our first number negative? Nope, 2 is positive. Is x on all 3 terms? Well, we have x to the third, we have x second, we have x to the first. So yes, it is on all 3 terms. So I need to take x to the lowest power, okay? And then 2, 16, and 32. Hit calculate, and I got 2. So 2x to the first is coming out. And then I go up and divide by 2x to the first. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. Then on the x, I take 3 minus 1, which is 2. And then negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8, so minus 8. And on x, I take 2 minus 1, which is 1. And then positive 32 divided by 2 is positive 16, so plus 16. And you can cross out those x's. So when I do my ABC, it's here, here, and here. So A equals 1x to the second, okay? So I take the A times C, positive 1 times positive 16, and that's positive 16, okay? So I got a positive, so it's going to be an add problem, and I'm trying to get to 8, which is negative. 1 and 16. 16 plus 1 is not 8. 16 divided by 2 is 8, so 2, 8. 8 plus 2 is not 8. 16 divided by 3 is a decimal. 16 divided by 4 is 4, so I divided by 4, and I got 4. And 4 plus 4 is 8, okay? So 8's negative, and I don't really have a bigger number, so I put a negative on one of the 4's. Doesn't matter. Now I have a positive up here, and that means the signs have to be the same, okay? Now a is 1x to the second, so when I make my parentheses, I can start with a 1, 1x, minus 4, minus 4. Okay, the GCF here is 1, so if you divide by 1, it just stays the same, 1x minus 4. Divide by 1, that's 1x minus 4. Now you do need to bring that GCF down, the negative 2x to the first, okay? And I get rid of the 1, but there's still an x there, so F1, F2, F3 equals 0. So negative 2x could equal 0. 1x minus 4 could equal 0. Or the other 1x minus 4 could equal 0. So dot and circle. And here I go straight to the division, and 0 divided by any number is 0. And now here I plus 4, 0 plus 4 is 4. And then divide by 1, and I'm still at 4. Okay. Plus 4, 0 plus 4 is 4. 4 divided by 1 is 4. So those are your 3 answers. Now, 2 of them are the same. That's okay. All right, my next one. 3x to the power of 3 minus 21x to the power of 2 plus 36x equals 0. So again, we have 3 answers here. Okay. And we are set. Okay, so 3 terms, GCF and T. So, is the first number in the equation negative? Nope. Do you have x on all 3 terms? Yeah, you do. Okay, x third, x second, x the first. So we take out the smallest x, and then I find the greatest common factor of 3, 21, and 36. Okay, 3 is the GCF. So 3x to the first needs to be factored out, and then I go divide by 3x to the first. Okay, so 3 divided by 3 is 1. Now on x here, I'm taking 3 minus 1, which is still 2, and then minus 7, and then 2 minus 1 is 1, and then plus 12. 36 divided by 3 is positive 12, and those can always be crossed out. Okay, so this is my A, this is my B, and this is my C. So again, I take, and by the way, your A is 1x to the second. Okay, so 1 times 12 is 12. It's positive 12. So again, I got positive, so I'm adding to try to make it to 7, which is negative. 1 and 12, nope. 2 and 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. That's close, but not good enough. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And 4 plus 3 makes 7, okay? So my 7's negative, so 4's negative. I have a positive up there, so the signs have got to be the same. Both be minus. So A's 1, so that'd be 2 parentheses, or yeah. So it's 1x, minus 3, minus 4. And the GCF's 1 here. Whenever 1's in the parentheses, the GCF's 1. You don't really need to use, you can use a calculator if you want, but I'm here to tell you it's just 1. Divide by 1 here, and that's 1x minus 4. Now don't forget, you got to bring that 3x to the first down there, okay? Now you can get rid of the first power, but there's still an x within that factor, so F1, F2, F3 equals 0. So 3x could equal 0. 1x minus 3 could equal 0. 1x minus 4 could equal 0. So I dot my x's, circle all of them, and here I go straight to the division step. So 0 divided by 3 is still 0. I plus 3, and 0 plus 3 is 3. Divided by 1, 3 divided by 1 is 3. Plus 4, 1 dot x equals 4. And 4 divided by 1 is 4. So 0, 3, and 4 are the three solutions. Okay, 98x to the power of 3 minus 18x equals 0. So again, once again, three answers. Has to be set equal to 0. Two terms. So now we're back to having two terms. 2, so GCF, and then difference of perfect squares. Okay. Okay, so the GCF is the first number in the equation negative. Nope, 98 is the first number. It's not negative. Is x on both of the terms? Well, we have an x to the third and an x to the first, so you bet x is on both terms. I take the one to the smaller power. And then I GCF calculate 98 and 18 to see the highest number. Those are both divisible, evenly divisible by. And it would be 2, okay? So 2x to the first. So you're going to factor that out. And go divide by 2x to the first. So 98 divided by 2. That gives me 49. Okay, so I have 49. And then 3 minus 1 is 2. Then I take negative 18 divided by 2, and that's negative 9. So I put a 9 minus, and then the x's here just go away. Okay, now remember, I can't emphasize this enough. When I'm looking at the dots, I'm just looking at this parentheses here. So do we have x to the second? You bet. So I put x, x. Is the second number negative? Sure is. Okay. Turn this over and see if your numbers are perfect. The 49 and the 9. So 49's here. That'd be 7 and 7. And then 9. 9's here. That'd be 3 by 3. Okay. And I got to remember to bring down that 2x to the first. Okay. That first can go away, but the x is still there, so it'd be F1, F2, F3. So 2x could equal 0. 7x plus 3 could equal 0. Or 7x minus 3 could equal 0. Okay, so dot circle. So here we go straight to our division, and 0 divided by 2 is 0. Then I subtract 3, and that's negative 3. Then divide by 7. It's going to be negative 0.42, or just put negative 0.4. Okay. Then plus 3, 0 plus 3 is 3. I divide 3 by 7. It's going to be a decimal. I tell you to take a smaller number, divide by a bigger number. It's a decimal, and that's 0.4. Positive this time. Okay, next one. Negative 2x to the third power plus 32x equals 0. So again, there's three answers. So it has to be set equal to 0. It is. It's set. Okay, so how many terms? Well, 1 and 2. So that's 2 terms. So that's greatest common. Same 2 boxes as on the last problem. Okay, so the GCF is the first number in the equation negative, indeed, so negative. is x on both terms. Well, we have x to the third and x to the first, so yeah, I need x that's to the smallest power. And then GCF calculator, 2 and 32. I got 2. So negative 2x to the first, then I go divide by negative 2x to the first. Now negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1, but on the x we're taking 3 minus 1, which is 2. And then I take 32 divided by negative 2, negative 16, so minus 16 with a minus, and then those can go away. Now dots, do we have x to the second? Yes, we do. Remember, dots, you're looking from here to here. Yep, x to the second's here, so x right in front of that. And 1 is one of, also is a second number negative. Yep, 16's negative. And then 16 would be 4 times 4. Okay. And the 1 would be, again, 4. And then the 1 right there. That'd be 1, 1. And don't forget to pull down your negative 2x to the first power. Okay, you can get rid of the first power, but then this is F1, this is F2, this is F3, and all this crap equals 0. So I set each factor individually equal to 0. So dot your x's. And here I go straight to the division, and that's 0. Then subtract 4, you get negative 4. Plus 4, plus 4. Divide by 1, and you're at 4 still, so those are your 3 solutions. Okay, then on the last page, 3x to the third power plus 30x to the second power plus 75x equals 0. So how many answers? Again, there are 3 because of the third power. Has to be set equal to 0. It is. We're set. Okay. Now, this time, again, we don't have 2 terms. We have 3. So it'd be this and this. So GCF and the table. So is the first number in the equation negative? No, it's not. Is x on all 3 terms? So let's look. X third, x second, x first. So x to the first. And then I use my greatest common factor calculator with 3, 30, and 75. I got 3. Okay. So 3x to the power of 1 goes out here. Okay. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1 is 2. 30 divided by 3 is 10. Now 2 minus 1 is 1. And then plus 25, and those cancel. Okay. And then A, B, C. So positive 1 times positive 25 is positive 25. So it's a positive. So we're adding. We're trying to get 10. Now I'm adding because it's a positive. Okay. 1 and 25. Nope. 25 divided by 2 is a decimal. You can see. So skip it. Divide by 3, decimal. 4 is a decimal. 5 and 5. Okay, 5 plus 5 is 10, so it's these 2. Now my 10 up there is plus, so put a plus on one of the 5s. Doesn't matter which one, because they're the same equal value. We have a positive up there, so the signs are the same, so they'd both be plus 5. Okay, now A is equal to 1x a second, so again I just need 1x, 1x, plus 5, plus 5. The GCF in each one is 1, 1x plus 5, 1x plus 5. Okay, so we bring that 3x to the first down here. You can get rid of the first power at this point, but that has x, so I put an F1 label there, F2, and F3. Now, before on some problems we did before, I was always doing just F1, F2, because there wasn't an x there. Now that there's an x there, that's included in the F list. So 3x could equal 0. 1x plus 5 could equal 0. Or the other 1x plus 5 could equal 0. Okay, so divide by 3, and that's 0. Minus 5. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. Divided by 1, you're still going to be at negative 5. Minus 5, that's going to be the same thing, negative 5. Then you're still at negative 5. Again, I got duplicates of the same answer, and that's okay. Okay, last one. How many answers? There'd be 3. Has to be equal to 0. It is, so we're set. Okay? So we have 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. So that and the table. GCF and my table. So is the first number in the equation negative? You bet. Do we have x on all terms? So we have a third power, second power, first power. So x to the first. And then 7, 140, and 700. I got 7, okay? That's okay. So negative 7x to the first power, okay? We go divide. So I take negative 7 divided by negative 7, that's 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. And then I go positive 140 divided by negative 7, and I got negative 20. So I put minus 20, and then 2 minus 1 is 1. And then I take negative 700 divided by negative 7, and that's positive 100. So that would be plus 100, and forget those. So now here's my ABC, and A has a 1 value, okay? So 1 times 100 is 100. Again, it's positive, so it will be an add problem to try to get to 20, which is negative. And I'm going to save you some time here. Eventually, you can't get it until you divide 100 by 10, because that equals 10, okay? And 10 plus 10 is 20. So we have negative 20, just put a negative on one of them. We got positive up there, so the signs have to be the same. Now A is 1, so I just need 2 parentheses. So 1x, 1x, minus 10, minus 10. Again, it's just going to be 1, so you're going to have 1x minus 10. And that's going to be the same too, 1x minus 10. So bring down your negative 7x to the first that has been factored out. F1, F2, F3. So set each factor equal to 0. So negative 7x equals 0. 1x minus 10 could equal 0. Or the other 1x minus 10 could equal 0. So dot and circle. Here we go straight to the division. And that's 0. Then we plus 10. And that's 10. 1 times x equals 10. Divided by 1 is still 10. Okay? Then plus 10. 0 plus 10 is 10. Divided by 1. And you're still at 10. So again, duplicates of the same answer is not a big deal. Happens.